Hi, I'm Beth Packman with the Greater Statesville Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to our Meet the Candidate series. Today, I have Braden Zittle with me, and he is running for City Council at large.
That's correct.
Welcome.
Thanks for having.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Braden.
Yeah, so I am the fourth oldest of 11 children, come from a large family.
Wow.
I've been learning to compromise from a very early age to get things done. But I work in the logistics industry. I've been in business management since I was 17 for 3 different Chick-fil-A's down in Central Florida as a hospitality and training director. And I kind of haven't looked back. I love what I do. So it's been very fun interacting with people at that level and trying to make sure things are coordinated to set everyone up for success.
Okay. All right. So why are you running for City Council?
I believe it needs to be done. I think that we need some people with more of a servant-minded approach to this. I've seen in the political landscape, it's gotten a little bit murky with people who seem to be doing this, whether it's personal gain or advancing, in fame or, renown, whatever it may be. We've lost kind of what got us here as a people and as a country, which was people who did it at their own cost and at the cost of their time because it needed to be done. And so I wanted to bring a little bit of that. I don't stand to gain anything. In fact, this is adding quite a bit of fun to my life, if you will. Okay. But at the end of the day, I do believe I'm very well suited for the position. And I believe that it's going to take people who are qualified in order to help our city get on course.
Okay, terrific. Well, let's start into the questions,
Awesome,
shall we?
thank you.
All right, question number 1. What do you think the city does well from a service provision standpoint, and what are its most glaring needs?
Yeah, from a service standpoint, I think that we've invested a lot of money into our police force and our fire department, which I think is necessary for our city to do well. I do think that we could address some of those situations potentially a little bit more pragmatically from a business-minded viewpoint on that. Maybe utilize the sheriff's department a little bit more, given the fact that they are also headquartered right here in our city. I do think that one of the things that we struggle with is our forward thinking and our long-term planning. I think that we have a tendency as a council currently and as a city to make decisions that seem the most impactful in the short term, and we more of an instant gratification approach, if you will, rather than considering the long-term impact of the decisions that we make and how to address those at the time that we're making the initial decisions.
Okay, all right. Question number 2. What is your definition of smart growth, and what is your general philosophy on the growth currently happening in Statesville?
Yeah, so I think this is a really crucial topic to talk about. I think that smart growth means when you turn the capitalistic mentality in favor of your people. And you have to do that by having more jobs than you have people. And so that smart growth starts with an industry-led approach. You have to bring in the higher paying jobs. Commerce will then follow. If you look at every business market that's out there, commerce will locate itself near industry. Because people like to shop on their way home from work. They like to be in the same areas. People don't like change. They like, things that they're familiar with. And the best kind of advertising and most affordable is what you can see visually as you're driving to and from things. So commerce will come where the industry is. And then at that point, once you have both of those, residential developments come to you because you now have the market for it, for those people. And so then you can have the residential developers do the things that you need in the city without them kind of being able to dictate what they will or won't do. I think currently in our city, what we've done is we've brought in a lot of residential growth. Whether it's annexations or just approvals on situations here, I think our closest guess or estimate is somewhere in the neighborhood of 7,500 homes. Okay. But that's not going to sustain revenue long term. It's going to add a lot of strain on our infrastructure. And not necessarily ease the burden to our taxpayers. So what we're going to have to do, as already paying more in taxes than people who live in Charlotte, is we will bear the burden of the infrastructure improvements that have to happen when we have to increase our waste treatment facilities, things like that. We're still using 4-inch water mains, which is not good at the capacity we're at now, much less with improvement. So we're utilizing all of our resources right now in a situation that is going to cost the taxpayers more money. And as a city, if you can't bring that revenue from somewhere else, it has to come from property taxes. So the only way we can lower taxes and at the very least stop from continuing to increase them is we have to bring smart growth in through industry to bring our money to the city and from the industrial and commercial side rather than almost exclusively from the property tax side.
Okay. All right. As a council member, how will you go about working with your peers, the other council members and the mayor, to get things done?
So I think it's crucial that we develop strong relationships. Whether we agree or disagree, it's never stopped me in a working environment from being able to accomplish what needs to be done. I think that as a diverse group of people, we'll have to understand that there's a task at hand. And what we have to do is work for the good of the people over our own personal growth. I've seen a lot of real estate agents and residential developers get elected to council positions over the years, which always rubs me the wrong way a little bit because obviously there's either those two particular industries have a lot of extra time on their hands or potentially they have other reasons for wanting to get onto a board that approves their projects. And so I think it's important that we make sure that we work together for the greater good of the people and not necessarily pushing our own personal projects forward. I've done that by starting to meet with people even before the filing date happened, whether that was Sheriff Campbell, Chief Onley, the mayor, several of the council people that are already there, county commissioners and school board members. It's going to be important for us, not just as a city, but for the county interactions that we do, because so much of what we do affects the people that don't necessarily live or vote in the city. And so we have to take that into consideration in the decisions we make. But that starts with relationships.
Okay. All right. How important is investing in quality of life improvements such as parks, greenways, and sidewalks for our existing residents and for attracting new residents to Statesville?
I think it's incredibly important. Our issue right now is we don't have money. As a city, we don't have funding to be able to do more of it's not a luxury item. I think it's very important that we do quality of life things. But as a city, we're as close to being broke, for lack of a better way to put it, as one can be. We don't have any, stash of funding somewhere else. And we're looking down the barrel of some of these really large improvements and renovations that we're going to have to do for our utilities and our infrastructure. And so at this point, what we have to do is we have to allocate our resources correctly, because if we put money into things that are more luxury items, so to speak, we as a city won't have money to maintain them, and we won't have money to take care of our people long term. So our focus has to be on setting ourselves up, investing in long-term sustainability, so that we then can take that extra spending money that we might have and then give those items out. But it's very important that we have it for quality of life. We can't spend money on scooters if we don't have food yet, if that makes sense.
Sure, absolutely. So is there anything else that you would like to share with potential voters?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will start with a shameless plug of my website, www.bradenzittle.com. Feel free to jump on there, or my Facebook page, Zittle for Statesville. We'll keep you up to date with everything going on as far as the voting times. October 16th starts early voting. We're looking forward to it, with Election Day being November 4th. Feel free to jump on and follow along. Folks, I will say it is crucial this election that we elect qualified people. This is not about who tugs on our heartstrings the most or who might appeal to our demographic or anything like that. It is about who can do the job properly, who can run this city effectively so that this city does not die out over the next 8 to 10 years when all of our funds freeze up and we turn into a commuter town. We have got to take advantage of our resources and our geographical location to set ourselves up for success long term as a city without losing our small town feel and what has made Statesville so great.
All right. Thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.